My name is Brady Stanichka, and this is my informative speech.
John.
Sheldon.
John.
Niels.
Alex.
Taylor.
Bo.
Zach.
Jen. Sam.
So, by raise of hands, how many of you guys have seen a Dalmatian riding in a fire engine? Or maybe you've read in a book that only men are suitable to be firefighters? And I know you've all seen those also glorified calendars of firefighters. I know Niels has a few of them hanging up in his room. And yes, I once also believed these statements, but I developed a fascination with the fire service as a young kid and never lost interest. So when I found out you can actually go to college and get a degree to basically ride around in big fire engines with dogs, slide down fire poles, and go on college just so girls could check out the firefighters, I immediately signed up. It wasn't until I was 19 taking my first firefighting class at Southeast Community College until it hit me that firefighting wasn't all about saving cats or throwing out candy during parades. Though the fire service wasn't all I expected it to be, I didn't shy away from it one bit. Here I am, 20 years old, planning my graduation with a fire protection degree in just a few years, and being an intern with Lincoln Fire for over 8 months. It's really easy to believe everything you see or hear, so I'm here to unravel the truths and myths that surround the fire service. For the sake of time, I'll just discuss a few stereotypes that I've encountered and also inform you about several facts firefighters deal with often. It was just last week I was giving my 7-year-old niece a tour of the fire station. It wasn't long before we got through our tour where she turned to me with a big grin on her face and said, "Brady, where are the Dalmatians stored at?" It wasn't easier when I had to tell her that there were no Dalmatians, or in fact any pets at the fire station that we were touring. But in fact, there are a few stations around Lincoln that do have fire dogs. But I want to make it clear that the dogs are to not ride in the fire engines or run into fires like you might have seen on TV or read in a book. Now, I know a lot of people don't know that here in the city of Lincoln, firefighters work 24-hour shifts. With that being said, we are responsible for making our own breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, a lot of you might think that since we make our own food, the tax-paying dollars might pay for that food, but that's not the case at all. Firefighters are responsible for buying their own groceries and food before they go on shift. And not only food, but they're responsible for paying their own cable bill, personal products, and any other electronic devices that they may use. Now, the last myth, or I should say stereotype that I want to discuss with you all, really hit me hard. So, the interns have recently been tasked with installing fire alarms around the city of Lincoln. Recently, me and my partner went to a house. We were greeted by the door by a middle-aged woman, and she was very surprised to see that my partner, who is a woman, was with me. She said, "Wow, I didn't know women were firefighters." And it really took me by surprise because being around the fire service, it really isn't any surprise to see a woman around the station. So my partner informed her that not only in Lincoln, but nationwide, there are many firefighters. So yes, there are definitely women firefighters. In fact, according to the National Fire Protection Association, there were only 200 women firefighters in 1984. As of 2012, there are now more than 10,000 women firefighters who complete the same duties and tasks as male firefighters. Now I want to talk to you guys. Now I know what you guys are thinking. When is Brady going to talk about the fire poles? And yes, there are fire poles in the city of Lincoln. Now, unfortunately, the civilians are not allowed to slide down the fire poles, but they are in fact still in use till this day. The reason why is because firefighters usually remain above the ground floor of fire stations until they get called for an emergency, after which they descend, don their firefighting gear, and board the fire engine as quickly as possible. Now, my fifth and final topic before we finish is a question I get asked the most. The question I get asked the most is, do firefighters really have to be in that great of shape? The answer is absolutely. Firefighters must maintain mentally and physically strength. In 2012, Firehouse.com determined firefighting to be the second most stressful job in America. We must be mentally strong to handle the hours, unusual sleep patterns, and responding to critical and traumatic emergencies with the amount of stress. To show you guys how strong physically a firefighter must be, I'm going to bring out my good friend Jen. Just the pants and helmet that she is wearing weighs 30 pounds. Now, we're going to add our SCBA, which we use for our breathing apparatus. Jen is now weighing up to 75 pounds. Now this is common for interior firefighting, but if you go to the roof and make a ventilation cut, you are definitely going to be carrying a rescue saw, and a fire extinguisher, weighing Jen up to 110 pounds, almost up to 3/4 of her body weight. This is why the fire service demands you have good cardiovascular stamina and strength. Now, thank you, Jen. Today I have shared with you just a few of the myths that surround firefighting, whether it's Dalmatians running into burning buildings, women not being able to complete the task firefighters demand, or the physicality of the job. I hope you have all learned something.